Hello and welcome to sunny Oxford, Ohio. Game 1 of a 3-game tilt between the Miami RedHawks and the Akron Zips. You're watching Love and Honor live here on Chatterbox Sports. I'm Reed Mouse. I'll be taking you through today's action. Let's go ahead and take you through the Akron Zips starting lineup. They come in at 17 and 27. Leading off and playing center field will be Ian Pennington. Out in right field will be Jack Firestone. Jack Poist will be batting in the 3-hole. He's the designated hitter today. Nick Arrivo cleaning up. He's playing third. Sam Seeker out in left field. He's batting 5th. Andrew Harvoth is the catcher. He's batting 6th today. Braden Cavey will be at second base in the 7-hole. Max Bowman will be playing first base and batting 8th. Kid O'Hara will be anchoring the lineup. He's the shortstop today. Connor Oliver on the bump today for the Miami RedHawks, and we'll take you through his season momentarily. You see his stats: 2.25 record, 3.63 ERA. He is holding opponents to a 2.33 batting average. It is an absolutely gorgeous Friday afternoon. 73 degrees here and barely any wind. We spent the pregame ceremonies honoring the alumni of Miami baseball, and we are ready to roll. Connor Oliver has struck out 84 batters this season. He's walked 33. He's one of the few pitchers in the rotation that hasn't had trouble with walking batters this season, and it's shown. That's why he's their Friday guy. The southpaw plays with a lot of swagger out on the bump, plays with a lot of energy, and he'll be facing off against Ian Pennington. And the first pitch is sent out into right field. Dylan Baker on to make the snag. And one pitch, one out. First pitch was at 5:04. Weekly hit out into the 4-hole. Dylan Baker moving over to make that play.
Now the Zips right fielder, number 44.
And after the batter here, we'll take you through the defensive alignment for the Miami RedHawks. So Jack Firestone steps in. Firestone, a 247 hitter. With the last name Firestone, you're pretty much destined to play at Akron, as he offers at the 1-0. Comes up empty. Oliver, 86 on the gun. Uses a lot of cutters in his repertoire. Cutter, fastball, curveball mix for the southpaw. And this is chopped out to the second baseman, Dylan Baker, who throws it over to Rylan Zaborowski for the second out. Let's take you through the RedHawks defensive alignment. Out in the outfield is Steven Krause, Zach McDonald, and Benji Brokeman over on the left side of the infield. Evan Applewick, Cooper Weiss, Dylan Baker, Rylan Zaborowski patrolling the right side of the infield. And then the battery with Connor Oliver is David Novak. Another left-hander steps in. Jack Post pops one in the infield, and Evan Applewick is over to make the snag. A quick 1-2-3 here in the top half of the first inning. We're headed to the bottom of the first in Oxford on Love and Honor Live. McKeith Field at Aiden Park, the venue for this MAC. Game 1. Let's take you through the RedHawks starting lineup. Leading off is the speedy Benji Brokemon. He's out in right field. Cooper Weiss will be batting second. He's playing shortstop. Rylan Zaborowski will be batting in the 3-hole. He's playing first base. We'll talk more about Zaborowski and the seasons he's having. David Novak will be cleaning up. He's behind the dish. Dylan Baker out at second base. He's in the 5-hole. Evan Applewick, the third baseman today. He's batting sixth. Brian Zapp is the designated hitter. Stephen Krause out in left field. And Zach McDonald anchoring the lineup. He's patrolling center. They'll be facing off against Sammy Tortorella. Tortorella, a southpaw, has the sign, and Brokemon up the middle for a base knock. Just as the top of the first pitch is sent into the field. This time a base knock for Brokemon.
That'll bring up the RedHawks shortstop.
82 on the gun from Tortorella. Not a whole lot of velocity from the lefty, but still has put together a decent season. So Cooper Weiss steps in. Yeah, Tortorella, a 4.76 ERA. He's got a 4-3 win-loss. He's struck out 59 batters. He's walked 23 as he falls behind Cooper Weiss. Weiss leads the team in hitting, a .311 hitter. 12 home runs, 42 RBIs. Open stance as he awaits in the right-handed batter's box. Miami in the white uniforms, red pinstripes, very sharp. Crowd favorites. Akron in the all-grays. The 1-0 to Cooper Weiss. Breaking balls in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Weiss, a junior, native of Fort Myers, Florida. Has been playing very well. You'd have to go all the way back to April 11th when Miami played against the University of Cincinnati to find the last time that Cooper Weiss did not have a base hit in a ball game. On a 13-game hit streak. The 1-2. Sent out to center field on a line, in and sliding, but not able to make the play is Ian Piddington. Looks like he might have gotten there in time. He definitely got his glove on it, but couldn't come up with the snag. So it's back-to-back base hits as runners will be on first and second for Rylan Zaborowski.
The first baseman, number 15, Rylan Zaborowski.
So Zaborowski comes in with 18 home runs, which will put him near the top of the leaderboard, not only in the MAC, but in the entire country. Zaborowski stands tall, 6'6", 235 pounds, from Gilbert, Arizona. Stands close to the plate in the right-handed batter box as the 0-1 is lofted in foul territory. Over to make the play, but the ball just barely goes out. Horvath is the catcher today, and he looked like he might have gotten there in time, but the ball just trickled out of play. The 0-2 from Tortorella misses on the outside. Wind blowing in, barely 4 miles an hour wind here in Oxford. You could not have asked for better weather if you tried. The 1-2. Popped foul, and we'll do it once more at 1-2. A lot of speed out on the base paths. Cooper Weiss and Benji Brokemon, second and third in stolen bases this year for the Miami. Trailing only Brian Zapp. They check on Cooper Weiss over at first. No play. Tortorella comes set. Both runners moving. It's a breaking ball. And both runners will take second and third. The double steal puts runners in scoring position for Zaborowski in a 2-2 count. Stolen base number 11 for Cooper Weiss and 12 for Benji Brokmont. Tortorella gets Zaborowski to chase at the 69-mile-an-hour changeup that he just couldn't lay off. And there's one away as David Novak steps in. Novak, a 270 hitter, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. Would love to make that RBI number 22 and 23 if he could place a ball in the outfield portion of the turf as the first pitch misses up and in. Novak, a sophomore from Zionsville, Indiana. All max selection a season ago. Has had a strong second half of the year. As he waves and misses at the 1-0. Novak pops one into deep center field. Pittington moving over to his left. He's underneath it. Benji Brokmont tagging up. Cooper Weiss is as well, sliding into third base, safe. Brokmont scores. Nice throw from Pittington. One hop over to Arrivo at the hot corner. But couldn't get the tag on Cooper Weiss in time. Miami takes a 1-0 lead on the sacrifice fly.
Number 21, Dylan Baker.
So now we'll see Dylan Baker. Baker, a 274 hitter. Third on the team in average. Hasn't been an everyday player, but has come on to earn his keep in the starting lineup. (2-0) to Baker. In there for a called strike. 84 on the gun. Infield shifted over the left side as Baker fouls one off his front foot, making the count 2-2. Sent out to left center field. Pennington shielding the sun is underneath it for the third and final out. So Miami strikes first, gets 1 run on 2 hits. We head to the top of the second here in Oxford.
For the RedHawks, Thom.
Welcome back. It's the top of the second inning here in Oxford. 4-5-6 due up for the Zips. Connor Oliver, sharp top half of the first inning, and his team gave him the lead. I'm Reed Mouse. You're watching Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when we go live for tomorrow's game and Sunday's game. Like the stream as well. Comment. Let us know how we're doing. Due up for the Zips is Nick Arrivo, Sam Seeker, then Andrew Horvath. So Connor Oliver, who had a very sharp top of the first, drew a lot of contact, quick inning as We're going to see a bunt attempt from Arroyo. Say no, he did not offer. So it's a miss, 1-0. Oliver is a transfer from Texas Christian University. Southpaw saw 11 innings last year for the Horned Frogs. Before that, went the JUCO route. Wabash Valley College, where he was very sharp, and out of high school, he pitched for Wichita State. So this is his 4th college along his collegiate career, and has found some success for the RedHawks. Called strike here to Arroyo to make the count 2-1. A kick and deal. Liner right out to center field. McDonald didn't have to move too far to get that for the first out. Arroyo sent that on a line, hit it so hard, but McDonald right there.
The left fielder for the Zips, number 9.
So now we'll see Sam Seeker.
Sam Seeker.
Fouled straight back. Oliver still eliciting a lot of contact. Seeker, a redshirt sophomore, went to Talmadge High School. Powerhouse up there in northeastern Ohio. Multiple state championships. Seeker pops one into foul territory. Evan Applewick on the run. Tries to slide and make the play, but can't get there in time. Almost a beautiful play from the native of South Dakota.
I'm to the right. Oh.
When I was up here for Ohio State, there were very few seats to be had.
Lefty on lefty. Here's the 0-2. Chopped up the middle. That's going to be a base knock. Seeker did a really nice job at just getting the barrel of the bat to the ball. Didn't have to hit it too hard, just well placed right up the middle. And there's one on and one away for Horvath.
You got blocked in on both sides.
Jimmy, you got to.
I think she can squeeze her.
Oliver checks on the runner, Seeker, and gets a called strike here. Horvath, a 168 hitter, 18 hits and 107 at-bats.
Did you play back all those years ago?
50 years?
Foul tipped, winds up in Novak's glove.
Home plate.
Horvath,
In right field.
a native of Aurora, Ohio. And that's what you'll notice if you look at
Yes, sir, I did.
the roster here for Akron. A lot.
Okay.
But actually, he graduated a
A
year.
lot of the players come from northeastern Ohio as Novak checks on the runner after the ball squirts away from him. Nice job by Novak keeping that
Who is that?
in the circle.
Somebody that played at Miami.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're fine, man.
The 1-2. Called strike 3. 91-mile-an-hour heater freezes the catcher from the Zips, and there's 2 away.
The second baseman, number 21, Braden Cavey.
Braden Cavey steps in, second baseman here today for Akron. Cavey, a .315 hitter. This is his 14th start on the season. Oliver gets the sign from Novak. Here's the 0-1. Tries the changeup. Couldn't get on top of it. It's 1-1. Checking on the runner once again. Miami 16-31 on the season. 10-14 in the Mid-American Conference. A game ahead of the Zips. Miami has played much better ball after starting the out-of-conference schedule. Not exactly how you draw it up. Putting it lightly. As the 2-1 rides up and in. 3-1. Miami won just one of their first 10 ball games of the season. Since then, have played much more competitive baseball as this is popped foul down the right field line. Benji Brokman reaching over the fence but not able to make the play. Ran out of room. The speedy Brokman reached over. Didn't have a full Derek Jeter situation, but close to it. Lost his hat in the process. Probably right around the time that he made contact with the chain link fence. No stop from Brokman. And the count is full once again. So Seeker will be on the move. There's 2 away. Oliver comes set. Fouled back. Oliver, 1K on the ledger already. He comes set. Here's the 3-2. This misses up and away. According to the TrackMan, that touched the zone.
Coming to bat, the first baseman.
But there will be runners on first and second
Bowman.
for Max Bowman. Last time we saw Connor Oliver, he threw 5 innings, got the loss. Struck out 4 and gave up 5 earned runs. Before that game, he was on a streak of just pretty much being lights out. In fact, playing 2 of the best teams in the conference, Ohio and Kent State. He threw 13 innings and only allowed 1 earned run in those 2 starts. The 0-1 to Bowman misses up. Count is 1-1. Oliver kicks, deals. It hard, but foul right at the third base dugout. Bowman out in front of the pitch. It was an 83-mile-an-hour cutter from Oliver. So he had a pitch that came in on Bowman. See if he goes with a changeup that works away from the right-handed hitter. Breaking ball that bounces away from David Novak, and they're not going to have a play at first. Rounding third, but eventually holding up is Sam Seeker. Looked like he might have tried to make a play at the plate. But after the walk, then the strikeout and drop third, the bases are juiced.
The shortstop, number 3, Kaito Hara.
So Kaito Hara steps in. 251 hitter. He's got 19 RBIs on the season. 9 extra base hits. Kaito Hara, a native of Houston, Texas. Listed at 5'5" on the roster. Playing middle infield and from Houston, if that sounds familiar. 2-0 to Hara is taken for a ball. So Oliver in a tight spot. Bases are loaded, facing the 9-hole. And he's got to come from behind. It's a 3-0 count. And it's a 4-pitch walk. So after getting the second out of the inning,
Back to the top of the order.
Connor Oliver goes walk, strikeout, drop third, and then walk to bring in a run. It's 1-all. Sam Seeker scores. Moving up to third is Cavey. Bowman moves to second, and now the bases are juiced for Ian Pennington. Pennington flared one over to Dylan Baker his first time around. .23 RBIs on the year. That was his 20th RBI. Pennington tied for second on the team with 6 home runs and offers at the first pitch he sees from Connor Oliver. A cutter working away from the left-handed hitter. Oliver working quickly with Novak. Goes back to the well. This time it misses. Pennington from not too far away, native of Springboro, Ohio. True sophomore, fouls one back over the third base dugout. Has had an RBI in each of his last 3 starts. Called strike 3. Oliver, after walking in a run, comes back and strikes out the leadoff man, Ian Pennington. And we head to the bottom of the second. It's 1-all.
The third baseman, number 16, Evan Applewick.
Evan Applewick, Brian Zapp, Stephen Krause, 2 up for the RedHawks here in the bottom half of the second inning. Hello and welcome back to 11 Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. Miami scratched one across in the bottom half of the first inning. Akron got it right back on the bases loaded walk. Applewick steps in. Takes the first pitch from Tortorella for a called strike. Zips moving over to the left side of the bag, and Applewick flares one out to right field. Firestone underneath it for the first out.
Miami's designated hitter, number 6, Brian Zapp.
So now we'll see the left-handed hitting Brian Zapp. Brian Zapp spent the first half of the year platooning with Stephen Krause. They're both in the lineup today. Zapp didn't get a whole lot of starts against left-handed pitchers, but he is today. Zapp has his OPS at 942. The thing that he does so well is he gets on base 46% of the time. Third on the team in walks, trailing only Evan Applewick and Cooper Weiss. It's worth mentioning that he does so with nearly 40 less at-bats than both of them. Weekly hit over to the first baseman, Bowman, and that'll be the second out.
The left fielder, number 20, Stephen Krause.
So now we'll see the captain, Stephen Krause, stepping in. Talked about the great eye of Brian Zapp. Steven Krause is a free swinger. Krause has walked just one time this season. And the 1-0 is chopped over to Hara. He throws it across the infield. It's a quick 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the second inning. We head to inning number 3 here in Oxford. It's 1-0.
And for the RedHawks, first to bat for the Zips at the top of the third. Number 44, right fielder Jack Firestone.
Jack Firestone, Jack Boyce, Nick Arrivo due up for the Zips here in the top half of the third inning. And Connor Oliver back out for another inning of work. There were a lot of pitches there in inning number 2 after a breezy start to the game. First pitch to Firestone. And there for a called strike. This is hit down the left field line. Firestone not leaving the box as it trails foul. Hits on top of the J. Hayden Baseball Center. And the count is 0-2. Tries to get Firestone to chase. Firestone with 15 home runs this season. But he has struck out 73 times. As it bounces in front of home plate, we'll do it at 2-2. Firestone with 15 home runs, 36 RBIs. Both lead Tim Donnelly's Zip squad as he fouls another away. Donnelly in his first year as the interim head coach of Akron. Was the hitting coach for Western Kentucky a season ago, and Firestone goes down on strikes. Couldn't catch up to the 87-mile-per-hour heat. And there's one away.
Number 30, designated hitter Jack Boyce.
Jack Boyce steps in. 3 lefties to face off against the southpaw Connor Oliver. Interesting coaching decision. As noted, lefties tend to struggle against southpaws. Actually had a talk with Thom Brennaman on Chatterbox's flagship program Off the Bench earlier this week on why lefties seem to struggle so much against their own kind. And it truly is one of the mysteries of the game, but general consensus is as this is chopped out to Dylan Baker, has trouble getting it into his throwing hand, but eventually does deliver it over to Rylan Zaborowski for the second out. But like I said, it is one of the true mysteries of the game. The general consensus is because left-handed hitters don't see breaking pitches move away from them frequently. You don't see a whole lot of lefties as high school and even in college. The number of southpaws are greatly outnumbered by the right-handers. So you're not used to that breaking ball moving away from you. And that is truly one of the only answers that you have to figure out why lefties just can't hit other lefties. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Nick Arrivo in a breezy top half of the third. We head to the bottom half of the third here in Oxford, still 1-0.
No error.
Zach McDonald in the top half of the order due up for Miami here in the bottom half of the third inning. 2 hits on the ledger already for Miami as McDonald swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it back. And the 2 hits they had began the ball game. Benji Brokemont and Cooper Weiss went back-to-back. Breaking ball misses on the inside. It's 1-0. I mentioned Firestone, who had 73 strikeouts. McDonald's not too far behind, 71. A lot of pop in McDonald's bat. 10 home runs, one of the 3 batters with double digits. Still getting on base 38% of the time, but McDonald goes down on strikes right there.
Back to the top of the order for the RedHawks. And number 11, right fielder Benji Brokemont.
So now we'll see Benji Brokemont. Singled, stole a base, and came around and scored the first time around. Tortorella starting to find his stride. Has retired 7 straight batters. And Brokemont chops one foul. Arrivo getting it, killing it, in foul territory. What a change of pace Tortorella is compared to most of the arms you see here in the Mid-American Conference, especially Friday arms. If it's a right-hander, you're normally looking at low to mid-90s. If it's a southpaw, you might see a little decrease in velocity, but even better stuff. And Tortorella has back-to-back strikeouts, putting down Brokemont for the second out.
Shortstop Cooper Weiss.
So now we'll see Cooper Weiss. And Cooper Weiss extended his hitting streak his last time. 14 games now. Change up, misses the zone entirely. It's 1-0. Back-to-back misses for Tortorella, and he was cruising. Putting away McDonald and Brokemont on strikes. Weiss offered at the 2-0, came up empty. Pops one up. Moving over towards the line is Firestone. He's underneath it. He'll have it for the third out. So the sun couldn't get in the eyes of Firestone. And
for the RedHawks,
for the third consecutive half inning. It's a breeze for the Southpaws. We head to the top of the fourth. It's still 1-0. Top of the fourth here in Oxford, Ohio. Sam Seeker, Andrew Horvath, and Braden Cavey due up for the Zips. It's 1-0.
Fielder Sam Seeker.
Oliver, 1-2-3, first and third inning. Hit a snag there in the second frame. See what he has in time here in the fourth. First pitch is a big looping curveball that doesn't come back down to earth, and it's a ball to Seeker. Swinging strike. Seeker had a single, came around and scored back in the second inning. Was able to just flip the barrel out and send it up the middle. He finds himself behind. It's 1-2. Called strike three. Nice job by Oliver keeping it going. And he retires the first batter he faces.
Catcher Andrew Horvath.
Six Ks already in the game for Oliver as Horvath fouls one back. Horvath was the first strikeout victim. As the curveball couldn't come back down to earth. One and one. Skied out into center field. McDonald in underneath it. Has it for the second out. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the fourth inning.
21, second baseman Brendan Cavey.
And now we'll see Brendan Cavey. Cavey walked his first time as he offers at the first pitch he sees, fouls it back. Ball misses downstairs in the turf. Decent crowd here at McKee Field at Hayden Park. Both sides showing up. A few more Miami fans. And we mentioned that the pregame ceremonies to honor the alumni. Special ceremony is going to happen here in Oxford tomorrow to honor a very special alumni. Sean McVay getting inducted into the cradle of coaches. More about that when we come back. Connor Oliver puts down Cavey on strikes. We head to the bottom half of the fourth.
No runs,
What all?
no hits, no errors. Connect with Number 15, first
Bottom of the
baseman,
fourth inning here at McKee Field. Rylan Zaborowski steps in to the right-handed batter's box. Zaborowski went down swinging his first time. Tortorella has now retired 9 straight batters, but he won't retire Zaborowski as he sends one out to left field. It's gone.
For Rylan Zaborowski, his 19th home run.
Home run number 19 on the season for Rylan Zaborowski, and he's welcomed home as Miami takes a 2-1 lead.
Fan receives a gift card for Left Field Tavern in Oxford to enjoy following the game. Left Field Tavern, proud sponsor of Miami Athletics. Coming to the plate now, number 29, catcher David Nova.
.345 on that home run. That's how far the ball went. It's a big league-style park here at McKee Field. Deep down the lines, 332 down the left field line, 343 down right. Out in the gaps, it's 376 and 384, 400 to straightaway center. So it takes a heck of a poke to leave the yard. Miami does it in spades, especially with Rylan Zaborowski. So David Novak steps in. The all-time record for home runs in a season here at Miami is 21. Mike Ferris back in 2004 did that. Zaborowski now firmly in second place with Michael Carlin and Gary Russo with 19 home runs. Novak lines out to center field for the first out.
21, second baseman Dylan Baker.
So now it's Evan Applewick. Applewick flew out to right field. He'll have, actually it's Dylan Baker rather, as he singles out to right field. Baker puts one on, and after one was put away.
16,
And now we'll see Evan Applewick.
Applewick.
Trying to have our stat department let us know who's the nation lead for home run. Zaborowski still 7 home runs behind the nation's lead. Sent out to right center field. This is hit well, but running out of room as Firestone at the warning track has it for the second out. That home run from Zaborowski has him tied for 11th in the nation.
Number 6, designated hitter Brian Zapp.
And we'll see Brian Zapp. Called strike to Zapp. Zapp fouls one back. Zaborowski leads the northern hitters in home runs, as everyone that's ahead of him is south of the Ohio River. O2 is missed in the dirt, working away, trying to get Zapp to chase. Zapp hit a weak ground ball over to Bowman his first time. See if Dylan Baker is up and moving with 2 away. Lined into left center field. It's a base knock. Rounding second, heading for the third is Dylan Baker. They'll split the runners with a throw to second. And runners are on first and third for Stephen Krause.
Now, number 20,
Nice job by Pennington out in center field, splitting the runners. Oftentimes you see these outfielders who don't get a chance a whole lot to get an assist, throw someone out. Their eyes get real wide and they throw it down to third base, which would have allowed Brian Zapp to move up to second, but instead he splits the runners. And now only one runner is in scoring position for Krause, who grounded out to Hara his first time around. Tortorella kicks, deals, misses on the outside. I mentioned Krause is going to get his. He's only walked one time this season. No, he takes the 69-mile-per-hour curveball there from Tortorella for a called strike. Back-to-back benders, and the count is 1-2. Krause looking for the straight pitch. Now he's going to have to change his approach. Chokes up on the bat, waving in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the 1-2. And he chases the heater. Back-to-back curveballs and a fastball out of the zone puts down Steven Krause. So the RedHawks threaten, but they only get one run, and it comes off the bat of Rylan Zaborowski. It's 2-1 as we head to inning number 5.
First baseman, Max Bowman.
Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. I'm Mouse producing today's action. Paul Fritchner. Big League Paul came and helping out the Love and Honor broadcast as we get the top of the 5th started with an extra base hit. Max Bowman sending one down the third base line, and he's on second base with a leadoff double. Second time Bowman has reached a board today.
Kaito Hara.
Kaito Hara steps in. Hara with an RBI his first time. Walked in a run, chance to bring in another. First pitch to Hara is laid out on a bunt down the third base line. Almost a fantastic bunt single. Hara has not sacrificed himself one time this season. As a team, Akron only has 13 sacrifice bunts. The 0-1. Chopped over to Cooper Weiss. Going on the ground ball is Bowman. Weiss gets the out at first. There's one away, and Bowman moves up 90 feet. Nice base running by Bowman. You're taught if it's hit to your right out there at second base, if it's hit in front of you, stay put, but that was hit right at him, and Bowman never flinched. Going immediately, Cooper Weiss had no play over at third. Only play was at first, and now Connor Oliver needs to put down Pennington on strikes. He did it his last time around. Oliver comes set. Chopped over to Dylan Baker. This will tie up the ball game. So Bowman scores. Pennington with the RBI, and it's a new ball game.
Firestone.
Jack Firestone steps in. Missing on the outside, 91 mile per hour on the gun from Connor Oliver. This time getting a swinging strike. With the 1-2, Evan Applewick will run across the infield to put the shift on. Fouled back, we'll do it at 1-2. So Evan Applewick to the right of second base. Standing out in right field is Dylan Baker. Cooper Weiss alone on the left side of the infield. This bounces in front of the plate. Firestone taking all the way. Wind still tepidly blowing. Now out to left field, and Firestone's going to have a base hit. Hit it over top of the shift. Benji Brokman gets it off of one bounce, and it's a 2-out base knock for the Zips.
Designated hitter, Jack Poist.
Poist steps in. Working on an 0 for 2. Has popped out and grounded out. Has yet to put it in the outfield. Would love to find the gap and give his team the lead. Offers at the first pitch he sees, comes up empty. There is a nice crowd here today on this Friday evening. A very quiet crowd. Not a whole lot of energy in the ballpark. As the 1-1 is in there for a called strike. Two strikes, 2 away, 1 on here in the top half of the 5th inning. Zips already scratched 1 run across. Oliver thought he had strike 3, and according to the TrackMan, that was in there. But the home plate umpire, Craig McCarthy, says no, sir. This time McCarty pulled the trigger, and Oliver gets out of it. But not before the Zips score 1 run thanks to the leadoff double from Max Bowman. It's 2-2. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
Is located within the traditional homelands of the Miami and Shawnee people.
Welcome back. McKee Field at Aiden Park. It's the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-all, and McDonald sends one out to right center field. Moving over to his right is Firestone. He'll have it for the first out. So back to the top of the order we go. 5 hits in the ball game for Miami. 3 hits for Akron. Tortorella 54 pitches coming into this at-bat. He struck out 4. Both runs have been earned. And the count is 1-1 against Benji Brokemont. Weekly chopped out to second base, and that'll get through the infield. KV shading up the middle. The ball just squirted on the turf through the 4-hole, and there's a 1-out single from Brokemont, his second of the ball game. Weiss 1 for 2. Open stance for the right-handed shortstop. Hits it hard out in the hot corner. Kato Hara gets it on the ricochet off of Arrivo's glove. And there's runners on first and second for Zaborowski. Second time that Zaborowski has come up after the first 2 batters of the lineup have singled. Zaborowski left the yard his last time, and there's going to be a talk out there with Tortorella. No action in the Zips bullpen, so Tortorella is going to stay in the game. Zaborowski has hit 2 home runs in a game before this season. He's actually done it twice. On the season opener against Georgia Tech, then against the University of Cincinnati on their first game back here in the Buckeye State. Has not done it since. Hit a home run earlier this week against Southern Indiana. At one point had a 4-game streak of hitting home runs in consecutive ball games. First pitch he sees is singled out to left field. Benji Brokemont is being waved around third and heading for home. The throw in from Seeker, not in time, and Brokemont gives Miami the lead. Back-to-back-to-back singles.
David Novak
Gives Miami a 3-2 lead, and we'll see David Novak. 2 productive at-bats. Sacrifice fly his first time around, lined out to center field his last time. He has had Tortorella's number, but doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. Now the runners are going to move up 90 feet thanks to the wild pitch from the southpaw. And that'll hit the catcher. Not the first time that that's happened to David Novak this season. It won't be the last. He leads the team in getting hit this year. That'll be the 15th time. The next closest is Brian Zapp. So we'll see Dylan Baker, who singled his last time. The bases are juiced. Tortorella, first pitch to Baker, fouled back. Dylan Baker sends one down the left field line. This will fall. Multiple runs will score. Rounding third, heading for home is Rylan Zaborowski, who will be plated after Cooper Weiss. Heading to third base is David Novak. Baker into second. And Miami extends their lead. "5-2 now the score. After the 2 RBI double off the bat of Dylan Baker. And the RedHawks are still threatening.
Third baseman, Evan Applewick.
We'll see Evan Applewick. Applewick with his batting average at .236, hits one down the right field line. This has a chance of falling, and it does. Firestone dove at the ball, but this ball will leave the yard, and it'll be an automatic double. Two runs will score. Now, it is worth mentioning that it went off of the glove
Ohio State up here.
of Firestone,
Grand slam. Miami hit a grand slam.
which I don't know if that's an automatic double or if that is just a multiple base error, a la if you threw one in the dugout playing shortstop. And it looks like they are just going to leave it as a double. So two more runs will come in to score regardless, Novak and Baker. And now for the last five batters.
Designated hitter,
Mark that 5 of the last 6 batters have base knocks. And it's Brian Zapp stepping into the batter's box. One away still. Applewick out at seconds. And we mentioned Evan Applewick, .236 hitter. Went on a stretch there where he was just the unluckiest batter in Miami's lineup. Applewick, an on-base percentage right around .402. Has come on as of late, but last time we saw Evan Applewick was against Kent State 2 weeks ago. He went hitless in that entire series. 0 for 11, but hit the ball on the screws in over half of his at-bats. Just had nothing to show for it. Eventually, those did fall last week against Central Michigan and in the 2 midweek games, Southern Indiana and Purdue, as he extends his hitting streak to 6 games. And in that 6-game hitting streak, 4 have been multi-hit ball games. Zapp takes the 1-2 and works away from him. The count is evened up at 2s. Nice pitch working away from the left-handed hitter, Zapp. 69 on the gun. There is an arm getting loose in Akron's bullpen. 5 runs have been plated here in the bottom half of the 5th. Zapp pops one foul. Tortorella was cruising through the first 4 innings. Back-to-back base hits in the first inning and a stolen base. Sacrifice fly allowed 1 run to score. Then the solo home run from Rylan Zaborowski gave 2 runs for Miami coming into this inning, but the bats have come loose here in the 5th. And Tortorella hits Brian Zapp. Second time that he's plunked a batter in the inning.
RedHawk left fielder Stephen Krause.
And after getting Zach McDonald to fly out to begin the inning, he has now allowed 7 straight base runners to reach a board. Stephen Krause steps in. He went down swinging to conclude the last inning.
4 batters were hit by baseball.
Stephen Krause pops one in the Bermuda Triangle between the first baseman, second baseman, and right fielder, and this will fall. Bowman looked like he got lost along the right field line, and Firestone and Cavey couldn't come in to make the play. Toughest play is for the first baseman right there as he's backtracking. It's much easier to go along the right field side and or coming in from right field. Brady Biglin is getting loose in Akron's bullpen.
McDonald.
And if Tortorella can't put down Zach McDonald, we might see Biglin coming in soon. They do give an error on that play.
Yes, we are.
Rightfully so. And the bases are loaded for McDonald. Just missing on the outside edge. 83 on the gun. Tortorella misses. Popped up and out of play. Kraus at first, Zapp at second, Evan Applewick at third. Zapp with a lot of speed over at second base. Kraus isn't slow either. Tortorella is looking for McDonald to chop one right to one of the infielders. Have a chance to get a double play and get out of this. He's got McDonald in a 1-2 well. Tortorella kicks, steals. Breaking ball freezes McDonald, and McDonald will go down on strikes for the second time in the ballgame. 2 outs in the inning, both due to Zach McDonald. And now we'll see Benji Brokman. He's already singled and come around and scored here in the 5th. RBI situation for the leadoff man. You don't get many of those when you're at the top of the order. He chops one out to Cave on the first pitch he sees, flips it over to Bowman. And Tortorella ends the inning, but not after giving up 5 runs. Miami takes a 7-2 lead. We head to the 6th inning here in Oxford. Top of the 6th inning here at McKee Field at Hayden Park on this Friday afternoon. Miami plating 5 runs there in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 7-2, Connor Oliver, a lot of breathing room now. Something he hasn't had too much of this year. See what he does with it. First pitch swinging here. And the top of the 6th, Cooper Wise flips it over to Rylan Zaborowski. And they'll put down Nick Arrivo for the first out.
Left fielder, Sam Seeker.
So Sam Seeker steps in. Working on a 1-for-2. Called strike. Chopped over the head of Evan Applewick. That's a base knock. Seeker with his 2nd base hit of the ball game. The throw in from Stephen Kraus. Can't get Seeker in time, and he's got a 1-out double.
Catcher, Andrew Horvath.
Horvath steps in, 0-for-2. Oliver comes set. First pitch misses. Oliver not getting a whole lot of calls from McCarty. And Oliver sits around the zone. Doesn't miss a whole lot as that cutter misses the zone as well. A lot of times umpires will make you earn the strike zone, then they'll expand it as this is going to be hit out to left field for a base knock. Seeker will be held up at 3rd. Stephen Kraus gets it in. There's runners on the corner now for Brendan Cavey.
The second baseman for the Zips, Braden Katie.
Braden, a .315 hitter. 9 RBIs on the year. Oliver checks on the runners, finds the strike zone, and gets ahead of Cavey. Cavey 0 for 1 has walked and struck out looking. Yet to put the ball in play. Offers at the 0-1, comes up empty. Oliver at 85 pitches coming into this at-bat. He has cruised through this game other than the second inning. And he freezes Cavey to sit him down on strikes for the second time.
First baseman, Max Bowman.
And now we'll see Max Bowman. He led off the last inning with a double, came around and scored. He'd love nothing more than to put a dent in the 5-run deficit the Zips currently find themselves in. But the 2, so he's going to have to come up with a 2-out hit. Bowman fouls one straight back, and Oliver ahead in the count 0-2. Oliver with 9 strikeouts already would love to get double digits right here and now. Gets the sign from Novak. Here we go. Out to left center field. Steven Krause took his first step back. Won't get to the ball in time. 1 run will score. There will be runners at the corners as Horvath moves up to third. And a 2-out single for Max Bowman. Makes this a 4-run ball game. And Kaito Hara steps in. Steven Krause playing in deep left field. I don't know if he would have made the play regardless if he came in off the rip. But Hara's first pitch is sent out to Benji Brokman on a line. Brokman right there for the third and final out. 1 run is scored on a couple of base knocks. It's 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
3 hits, no errors, and 2.
Two, three, 4, 2 up here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Miami looking to repeat what they did in the 5th, where they played at 5 runs. I'm Reed Mouse. You're watching Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like the stream, hit that notification bell, let you know when we go live. If you're a sports fan, we invite you to tune in on Monday through Friday. Our flagship program, Off the Bench with Thom Brennaman, goes live 10 to 12 Eastern. Paul Fritchner, who is to my left producing today, is on that show, as is Casey McAllister, the 2 producers. If you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, we go live here on our YouTube channel after every single Reds ball game. Our boss, Trace Fowler, along with Reds superfan Nick Kirby, do Chatterbox Reds, which will recap every single Red Lakes game this season. 2-1's the count. Cooper Weiss pops one out to right field. Firestone working over to his right, underneath it for the first out. So Tortorella coming back out for a 6th inning of work, even after allowing 7 runs in the ball game, 6 of which are earned. He's given up 10 hits, and Rylan Zaborowski steps in. Oh, 0-1 the count to the tall first baseman. Zaborowski started the season playing third base, but with the injury to Parker Lester, moved across the diamond. Always threatening to leave the yard, already done so once this ball game. As he takes the 2-1 that misses downstairs. Great hitters count for Zabo. On a line down the left field. Zaborowski rounds first, heads for second as it rattles up against the left field wall. Zaborowski with his 3rd hit in the ball game. A home run, a single, and now a double.
29, David Novak.
He will likely get at least one shot to see if he can get a 3-bagger. The toughest one to get. And we'll see David Novak. 0 for 1, hit by pitch, came around and scored also with a sacrifice fly. And he's first pitch swinging. Found it straight back. Novak out to deep left center field. Pennington giving chase. It's looking like it's going to run out of room. He's back against the warning track, having it for the 2nd out. Just got a little bit underneath it, Novak did. And there's 2 away as Dylan Baker steps in. 2 for 3. Scored his last time, brought a couple of runs in.
Dylan Baker.
Baker has slowly climbed the batting order. Now affectionately in the middle half of the order. And has done a great job. The second baseman making the most of his opportunities this season. Flares one out to left center field. It's going to be a tough play for Seeker and Hara, but Hara working back underneath it for the 3rd and final out. We head to the top half of the 7th here on Love and Honor Live. It's 7-3.
And the bottom of the 6th for the RedHawks. No runs.
To the top of the 7th we go, 7-3. Top of the order due up for the Akron Zips. Connor Oliver back out for another inning of work. He's gotten through 6 innings, given up 3 runs, 6 hits. And we're underway here in the top half of the 7th McKeith Field at Hayden Park, the venue for Game 1. Game 2 will be right here on Love and Honor Live. Paul Fritchner will be on the call tomorrow. There is storms looming large Sunday. So no schedule changes yet. I don't think there will be any made. But we might see a doubleheader tomorrow, which will shift around the schedule. So be sure to keep up with Miami University Athletics. I'm sure they'll be able to let you know if there is changes to the schedule. But currently, we are geared for a 3 p.m. start tomorrow and a 1 p.m. start on Sunday. And as it sits, Sunday will be the last time we talk to you guys for the spring. Had a lot of fun calling Miami spring events and hope to get to do a few more in the future. Ian Pennington leads off the 7th inning with a walk.
Jack Firestone.
And we've made a lot to do this year about Connor Oliver coming out for the 7th and 8th inning and unable to finish it. It's really been the 7th inning. He's only finished 7 innings strong one time this season. That was against Kent State last time he was out here at McKeith Field. He came out for the 7th inning against Toledo, didn't get an out. Same against Northern Illinois. Bowling Green, he got 1 out in the 7th inning, 2 outs against Western Michigan. But it's been this 7th inning that has plagued him. Coming into this batter, 98 pitches. So that was pitch number 100 to Jack Firestone. I made the joke his first time up. I'll say it again. It just seems so fitting that an Akron Zip baseball player's last name is Firestone. Here in the press box, we were spitting around ideas on what would be a fitting name for someone who goes to the Miami University. Couldn't come up with a one-to-one comparison. But Firestone goes down on strikes for the first out.
Number 30, Jack Poist.
Jack Poist steps in. That was strikeout number 10 for Connor Oliver. 5th time this season he's hit double digits on Ks. First time since March 17th. It's been 6 consecutive starts that Connor Oliver has been looking for a double-digit strikeout performance. Oliver comes set on the 0-1. Poist awaits. This is fouled back. Miami's not eliminated from the MAC tournament. A lot of things would have to go their way with 6 games left on the schedule and sitting with a conference record of 10-14. They'd have to sweep against Akron, and up and running is Pennington, so they won't get the double play as it's grounded over to Dylan Baker. But they do get the out at first. There's 2 away as Nick Arrivo steps in. He's 0 for 3. Ian Pennington moves up to second base, so he's in scoring position with 2 away.
You know what Miami is like? So you're having a rough year as well, huh? Pretty good. Oh, really? Okay.
1-0 to Arrivo. Pennington out at second. Arrivo looking for his first base knock of the game. If he does send one through the infield, get into the outfield grass, or turf rather, would shrink the lead to 3 runs.
That I do know. I knew it wasn't good.
Dylan Baker keeping close tabs with Pennington. So is Oliver. 2-1 misses in the turf. 82 on the gun. Tried the cutter.
They did beat Ohio State, though, didn't they?
Has a revo in a hitter's count. No better count to hit him than 3-1, and Arroyo makes the most of it. Lining one into center field, that'll play to run. It's 7-4 as Pennington touches home plate. So old school manufacturing, leadoff walk, move him up to second on the hit and run. Then the 2-out hit brings them in. It's a 3-run ball game. Akron has now scored in each of the last 3 innings, and they've got their 5-hole. Sam Seeker, who already has 2 base hits, at the plate with 2 away and 1 runner on. Weekly hit over to Dylan Baker. Gloves it. Flips it over to Zaborowski. It's a 4-3 put out. Akron plates another run. It's a 3-run ball game. It's stretch time here in Oxford. 7-4 our score. We'll be back in a bit.
1 run on 1 hit, no. Number 16, Evan Applewhite.
Miami with a 7-4 lead as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. And much to the surprise of everyone in the press box, Tortorella back out for another inning of work. He hung a 0 there in the 6th. He'll face off against Evan Applewhite, Brian Zapp, and Stephen Krause. Hi. If you're new here, I'm Reed Mouse. You're watching Love and Honor live here on Chatterbox Sports. As always, we invite you to subscribe to the channel. Take a gander around. Plenty of stuff that you might like. Small media-based company here, just up the road, based out of Hamilton, Ohio. 2-1 to Applewhite, and this is sent for a ride out to left field. This has a chance. It's gone.
And for Evan Applewhite, that is his 4th round tripper of the season.
Evan Applewhite with his 4th home run on the season.
Home run.
And what a turnaround from the last time that we saw Evan Applewhite. The leadoff home run gives Miami an 8-4 lead, their 2nd home run of the ball game.
Brings up number 6, Brian Zapp.
But we made a big point. The redshirt freshman from Madison, South Dakota, went to IMG Academy, a transfer from IU. He went on a stretch there where just nothing would fall. Consistently putting good at-bats together, but not having a lot to show for it. Applewhite leaves the yard for the first time since this week against Southern Indiana. Zapp pops one up into center field. Pennington's going to be underneath it. Puts the squeeze on for the first out. So 2 home runs this week for this week. His last home run was against Eastern Michigan. And we'll see Stephen Kraus. Kraus with 2 home runs this season. One of the few RedHawks from southwestern Ohio. Kraus from Wilmington. Red shirt senior. Graduated a Hurricane. Him, Kent Egbert. 2 notables. Egbert, you'll see tomorrow. The number 2 starter for Miami. Yes, sir. Cahook warming up in the bullpen for Akron. Sidewinder for the Zips. The 1-2 misses on the inside to Stephen Kraus. 2-2. Kraus has the count run full. Last time we saw Kraus, he popped one up down the right field line that fell between the second baseman, first baseman, and right fielder. Offers at the 3-2. I think we brought it up every time Kraus has come to the plate. He has walked just 1 time this season. Chokes up here on the 3-2. And there's walk number 2. I think it actually hit Stephen Kraus, so avoid him of the walk. And we'll see Zach McDonald. And here's the talk out to Tortorella. So we'll see Cahook more than likely, and we'll see if they actually do exit the game with Tortorella. Cahook getting a few more pitches in the bullpen, and now he's walking towards the gate. So it looks like Cahook is going to come into the ball game. So we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have a new arm to tell you about. Stay tuned. You're watching Love and Honor Live. Yes, sir, Cahook from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. The redshirt juniors takes the mound for the Zips. He'll face off against Zach McDonald. Cahook on the season. 4.29 ERA. This is his 14th appearance, 21 innings pitched. He has struck out 7, walked 10. He's given up 10 earned runs, and McDonald was looking to lay one down with a Revo, playing well behind the bag. 77 on the gun for Cahook. Kraus over at first base. 65 on that breaking ball. So back-to-back low-velocity pitchers for Akron. And this time it works away from Kraus. Cahook, a redshirt junior, graduate of Walsh Jesuit. Good baseball school up there in northern Ohio, and this bounces away from the catcher, Horvath, but that's going to be ball 4, so Kraus takes second with ease. And McDonald will waltz his way down to first base. Back to the top half of the order. Cahook came in twice last weekend against Northern Illinois through 4 1/3 innings. Only gave up 1 earned run. And this is sent out to left field for a base knock. Rounding third, being waved and then held up by Coach Hayden is Stephen Kraus. He'll dive back into the bag, as that was a beautiful throw from Seeker, which would have had the captain of the RedHawks dead red. But the bases will be loaded for Cooper Weiss.
Let's go. Come on, grab your case.
Cooper Weiss.
So a walk and a base knock against the bottom half of the order. And now we'll see Cooper Weiss, 2 for 4, 2 pop-outs, 2 singles. And it's an 8-4 ball game here in the bottom half of the 7th.
Jimmy, get your cane.
1 run has already been plated in the form of Evan Applewick. Chopped over to Hara. He's got a chance for a double play. Goes to third as he moved to his right. With Benji Brokman out at first base, would have been a tough double play. Cooper Weiss with some legs, but just goes ahead and gets one of the lead runners.
Stepping in next, number 15, Ryland Saporowski.
So fielder's choice for the second out. Kraus will come in to score. It's now 9-4, and Ryland Zaborowski steps up with 2 away. Zaborowski with a single, a double, and a home run already in the ball game. If he can find the gap, might have something exciting happen. Benji Brokman dancing out there at second base. Cahook didn't even try to offer to get Benji Brokman out at second. He's squared away facing Ryland Zaborowski. Sent out to center field, just got underneath it. Pennington working to his right underneath it, sets up a campfire and has the third and final out. We head to the top of the 8th. 2 runs are plated for Miami. It's 9-4.
2 runs, 2 hits, no errors.
9-4 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Lawson Blackmore toes the rubber for the RedHawks. This will be Blackmore's 11th appearance on the season. He's thrown 19 1/3 innings this year. He's given up 12 earned runs. He struck out 31 in those 19 innings. He's got a 5.59 ERA. Comes in relief of Connor Oliver, who exits the game in line for the win. So you can close the book on both starting pitchers. Connor Oliver went 7 innings, struck out 10, gave up 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 hits. As for Tortorella, 6 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 8 earned runs, struck out 5, gave up 12 hits. Horvath steps into the plate, working on a 1-for-3, singled his last time around. Thought we might get to see a Cincinnati native Michael Sprocket play today, but apparently is injured. Typically catches for Akron, or at least he caught for Lakota East, where he graduated from, right down the road in Liberty Township. Blackmore falls behind Horvath. 3-1's the count. Blackmore comes set. There's a 3-1. So a leadoff walk for Blackmore. We'll put a runner on first base as Cavey steps to the plate.
1, Braden Cavey.
Blackmore, a native of Van Wert, Ohio, apparently was given the team a tour of Van Wert County not too long ago on the bus ride on a road trip. Scenic Van Wert County. Lots of windmills out there. 0-1's the count to Cavey. Blackmore took the Cougars, Van Wert Cougars, to the state semifinals for the first time in school history back in 2019. Wasn't the only Miami athlete from that county, as Javen Etzler actually just transferred, announced his transfer earlier this week. He was a basketball player for the RedHawks. He'll be going down to Division II to play at Ashland next year. 2-1's the count here to Cavey. And this will be a base knock as he hooks it through the right side of the infield. So back-to-back base runners will begin things here in the 8th. Blackmore with a 5-run lead.
Number 6, Max Bowman.
Last time we saw Blackmore was last week in Central Michigan. Went 3 innings, giving up 1 earned run. Struck out 3, did walk 4, so control has been an issue for him. As Bowman falls behind 0-1. He's gotten a lot of work here in the month of April. And this will get through the infield, chopping twice and just getting beyond the glove of Evan Applewick. The throw from Stephen Krause sails over David Novak. All the runners will move up 90 feet. And Akron moves in within 4 runs now. So put runners on second and third for Cato Hara. And there's still nobody away. Horvath comes around and scores.
Number 3.
And back-to-back
Hara.
CNI singles. And the errant throw from Stephen Kraus has runners on second and third. And here's another base knock that squeaks through the infield. It's now 9-6, and Benji Brokman throws it towards home after the run had scored, which will allow Cato Hara to move up to second base. Brokman could have thrown it to second and split the runners, or at least hit his cutoff man, which would have allowed Hara to not move up to second into scoring position and still would have allowed the double play to be set up. But instead, there's runners on second and third, and the tying runs at the plate with nobody away. Back to the top of the order we go, and Pennington. And here's another beater through the infield. Hara comes around third. He'll score. It's 9-8. So Akron takes advantage of both throws from the outfielders, and it's a one-run ball game. The tying run's aboard. 4 runs have been played, and there's nobody away. A lefty is quickly up and working for Miami now, and Blackmore's now to the teeth of the Zips lineup. I believe it's Nick Vardavis who's warming up in Miami's bullpen. And just not the outing you'd expect from Lawson Blackmore. They're going to leave him out there. So a leadoff walk, then 4 consecutive bouncing singles through the infield. Plate 4 runs. It's now a 1-run ball game. Bowman, Hara, Cavey, Horvath all have scored. And Jack Firestone steps in, bouncing in front of home plate. Trying to move up to second for a second was Pennington. Firestone 1 for 4, has struck out twice. Foul tip will bring Pennington back to first. Pennington on the season is a perfect 16 for 16 on stolen bases. Akron has not torn the cover off the ball in this inning, but a few defensive miscues and 4 consecutive base knocks have made this a run-run ball game, and this will bloop into center field. Zach McDonald looked like he might have gotten there in time, but lets it fall in between him and Cooper Weiss.
Jack Hoist.
So we do have a TrackMan here in Oxford. We don't have the full-blown StatCast, which will tell you expected batting average based off of launch angle and exit velocity, but on each of the 5 base knocks that we've seen, the expected batting average could not be very good, as we'll see Hoist come up, sacrifice himself, or at least attempt to. And a nice play by Lawson Blackmore gets the lead runner. And there's 1 away, still with runners on first and second.
13, Nick Arrivo.
So a 1-5 put out. And a fielder's choice has Firestone out at second, Poist at first, and Arrivo stepping in. Blackmore draws the swing from Arrivo. Arrivo with his first hit of the ball game just last inning. He's 1 for 4. He lined out back in the second inning, so he's had a couple nice at-bats. Would love to find some outfield turf right now. 0-1's the count from Blackmore. Gets the sign from Novak. Chopped over to Cooper Weiss. It bounces over the glove as he tries to backhand it. Rounding third, headed for home, and scoring is Jack Firestone, and it's a 9-9 ball game. Cooper Weiss doesn't get in front of the ball. Tries to backhand it. A two-hopper right towards the shortstop. Bounces over his glove. And now it's 9-9. Sam Seeker steps in. Called strike. Now 6 hits in this ball game. In this inning, rather. And none were base hits right off the bat. None you would have saw and said, he ripped that. But it's a 9-9 ball game all the same. Akron has now scored a run in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and now 5 in the 8th. After scoring 1 back in the 2nd inning. And the scoreboard is almost a mirror of itself, as both teams have scored 5 runs in 1 inning and have sprinkled the rest of their runs amongst the ball game. This is the 2nd time this season, or in the past month, that Miami has blown a large lead in the 8th inning. Two and two's the count here to Seeker. Still 1 away. Big strikeout there from Lawson Blackmore. And there's 2 away for the man who led off this inning, Andrew Horvath. Two on, 2 away, and the first pitch to Horvath's in there for a called strike. Blackmore comes set. Swing and strike. Two on, 2 away, 2 strikes to Horvath. Runners up and moving. Called strike 3. Blackmore freezes the catcher from Akron. But the Zips tie it up. They plate 5 runs here in the top of the 8th inning. It's 9-9 as we head to the bottom. Bottom of the 8th inning here at McKee Field at Hayden Park. 9-9. Let's give you a quick recap of how we got here. Akron scored 1 run in the second, 1 in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and then 5 in the top half of the 8th to tie the game up. Miami struck first back in the bottom of the 1st inning, scored 1 in the 4th, then put a 5 spot in the 5th inning, held on to the lead, added on to the 7th inning, but now it's a brand new ball game, and we'll see 4, 5, 6 due up as David Novak, Dylan Baker, and Evan Applewick are due up. Emmett Gillies will toe the rubber for the Akron Zips. Breaking ball misses to David Novak. Fouled over the first base dugout and out of the grandstand here at Hayden Park. Gillies, a 5.63 ERA. This will be his 20th appearance on the season. He's got 3 saves. He's thrown 38 in the 3rd innings. The right-hander gets ahead of David Novak. Novak still looking for his first hit. Has worked towards the middle of the field. Has flown out to center field 3 times. 1 on a line, twice in the air, and 1 of which was a sacrifice. So here's the 1-2 to the catcher as this bounces in the left-handed batter's box. And I mentioned this earlier, the scoreboard is mirrored. Both teams with 9 runs, both teams with 13 hits, both teams with 1 error. And this is chopped, going to be a tough play for Gillies. He bare hands it, throws it across the diamond, and would have had David Novak, but Bowman, the first baseman, can't come up and secure the throw. It is so tough for a pitcher to come off the mound, make the play, and also working away from first base, then throw a strike, but Bowman just couldn't get to it. So they will call an error on the play. And we'll see Dylan Baker. He's got 2 hits on the ledger. Doubled in 2 runs back in that 5-inning 5th. 5-run 5th, I should say. And he's going to sacrifice. Bowman indecisive and eventually flipping it over to Cavey. Bowman looked lost out there fielding the ball. First couldn't decide if he wanted to go get it. Then once he fielded it, was going to flip it to Gillies. Then turned around. Luckily, Cavey was patrolling first base, and they put 1 away, and they move up David Novak for Evan Applewick.
Evan Applewick.
And I don't know if there's a man that you'd want up to the plate more than Evan Applewick, as he is red hot at the moment. His last 2 trips to the plate, a double and a home run. First pitch to Applewick misses up. Novak out at second. .90 on the gun from Gillies, so a change of pace from Cahook and Tortorella. The 1-1 to the third baseman. Popped, foul. Gillies ahead in the count. Getting the sign from Horvath. The 1-2 is sent on a line out to Pennington, but right at the center fielder. He'll have it for the second out. So Applewick doesn't bring in the go-ahead run, and it'll come down to Brian Zapp with 2 away.
Number 6, Brian Zapp.
Zapp 1 for 3. Has reached base twice, a single hit by pitch, and has also hit a weak ground out and popped out to Pennington. Pennington has gotten some work out there patrolling center field. That is his 7th put out of the game. In fact, between him and Firestone, they have put away 12 Miami hitters. So the infield not been a big part of the defense for Akron. Zap ahead in the count, 2-0. Zap with 23 RBIs on the season. As this bounces in the dirt, it's 3-0. And in the place of Steven Krause, who's in the on-deck circle, getting loose is Nate Stone, who will presumably pinch hit for the left fielder. And this will miss. So not a bad walk to Brian Zapp. As now you're going to bring Nate Stone off the bench. Stone on the season batting .162. 12 hits in 74 at-bats. Of those 12 hits, though, 5 are of the extra base variety. 2 triples, 1 double, and 2 home runs. So it comes down to Nate Stone. I've waxed poetic about Nate Stone's career here for Miami. Everyday player a couple seasons ago, was hurt last year, trying to work his way back into some regular playing time, and now the redshirt junior comes up in a big situation. He went 2 for 4 earlier this week against Southern Indiana. And this bounces in front of home plate. Gillis has now missed 5 straight. The 1-0 to Stone. Sent on a line out to center field. This will fall. Rounding third, headed for home is David Novak. The throw from Pennington, not in time. After surrendering a 5-run lead in the top half of the inning, Miami sets up the table, and off the bench comes Nate Stone, and he delivers. A line drive single brings home David Novak, and Miami takes a 10-9 lead. And now we'll see Zach McDonald. Has struck out twice, has walked. He has also flown out to right field. Zap with a lot of speed out at second base. So a base hit should plate another run. Down the line, but just foul. The last half inning, we haven't seen a run scored. You'd have to go all the way back to the bottom of the 6th inning. And before that, you'd have to look at the top of the 4th. So a lot of runs in this ball game. And they are scattered across. Only 2 crooked numbers up there on the scoreboard. 1-2 the count to Zach McDonald. Two and two the count. Gillies comes to the plate. Runners moving on the pitch. Danny Hayden looking all calm, cool, and collected there in the third base coach's box. Bear hands that, throws it right back at his own dugout. We'll do it again here at 2-2. McDonald, a .254 hitter. Chase is in the dirt. Going to be a tough play for the catcher, Horvath, who goes over to Bowman. But Miami takes a 10-9 lead thanks to the base knock from Nate Stone. Came off the bench and gave his team a one-run lead. It looks like Lawson Blackmore is going to come back out for the top of the ninth. We'll be back on Love and Honor Live. All right, here we go. Top of the ninth inning, 10-9 our score. Lawson Blackmore out on the bump for the RedHawks, looking to close the door.
First to bat in the top of the ninth. For Akron. Number 21, Braden Cavey.
Braden Cavey. Then Max Bowman and Kid O'Hara. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Zips here in the ninth inning. First pitch swinging. Lawson Blackmore gets ahead of Cavey. Bouncing in front of home plate. 88 on the gun. First pitch here in Oxford was 5:04. So just a little over 2 hours in a game where we've seen 20 runs. So it has moved along. Two and 1 the count here to Cavey. And a leadoff hit by pitch will put the tying run aboard. Kid O'Hara is in the on-deck circle, and he's a trusted bat for the Zips. We're going to see a pinch hitter here for Akron, and you got to wonder if it's a sacrifice situation. So hitting for Max Bowman.
Pitch runner for Akron. Standing at first base now is number 0.
Actually, it will be Max Bowman. There'll be a pinch runner for Cavey. And we're going to see a new arm. So Blackmore comes in, hits the first batter he faces, and we'll have a new arm to tell you about when we come back. Welcome back to Oxford, Ohio. Top of the 9th inning. 8-9 due up for Akron. They've got a runner on first, nobody away. Max Bowman at the plate, and Nick Vardavis will come on the rubber for the RedHawks. Vardavis on the season. This will be his 20th appearance. He's got a 4.82 ERA. He has thrown 37 and a third innings this year, struck out 34. He's allowed 20 earned runs. Lawson Blackmore hit the first batter of the inning. And they go to Vardavis out of the pen. Vardavis does not have a save yet to the season. So it's Max Bowman, and it's worth mentioning that Max Bowman has sacrificed himself twice this season, and this seems like a golden opportunity to lay one down. They check on the runner over at first. That's DJ Butler running for Braden Cavey. It might have been a check over on Butler, not to keep him close, but more so to see if Max Bowman came around to bunt. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Doesn't show the bunt. Maybe he will here on 0-1. Yeah, you see oftentimes those pitchers just throw a pickoff just to see if the batter will turn and bring the barrel around to show bunt. Here's the 0-1. Bowman swinging away. He pops one sky high into center field. Zach McDonald comes underneath it. He'll have it for the first out. So they don't bunt Bowman, and Kid O'Hara steps to the plate.
Number 3, Kaito Hara.
Butler 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts this season. Hara singled his last trip up, and he offers at the first pitch from Vardavis. Vardavis checks on Butler. Field playing straight up. Only change to the starting defensive alignment is Nate Stone is out in left field for Steven Krause, and Vardavis checking on Butler once again. Butler sliding in safe with plenty of time each attempt. And here's a third. He's throwing the kitchen sink over at Butler. An easy look, then a balk move, and then stepped off the back rubber. Here's the 0-1 to Hara. Ground ball. Put this game out of reach. The throw from Novak not in time. Butler swipes second base. So everyone at McKee Field knew that Butler was going to take off at some point in the at-bat, and after 3 consecutive pickoff attempts, Butler takes second with ease. So that gets rid of the double play. And it's a 1-1 count to the starting shortstop for the Zips. Butler with a huge lead out at second base. Flared out to right field. Benji Brokman's on his horse to come in and make the play. Thought that might have dipped down and hung up just long enough for Brokman. And there's 2 away, but the top of the order looms large. Ian Pennington.
16, Ian Pennington.
He singled his last time. That was just last inning. His only hit of the ball game. He also walked, came around and scored back in the 7th. 1 for 4. Pennington with 23 RBIs on the season. Lefty on lefty, and Vardavis lays a breaking ball in the strike zone, and Pennington comes up empty. Miami is a long shot to make the Mid-American Conference Tournament, but to do so, they're going to need to sweep the Zips here this weekend. They are 1 out away from taking game 1, but the tying run stands out at second base. One and one's the count. Vardavis comes set after getting the sign from Novak. Butler with a lot of speed out at second base, taking a large lead. Pennington finds himself in a hitter's count. He has flown out in the infield, struck out looking, and grounded out, along with a walk and a single. Exclusively throwing breaking balls that work away from Pennington. And the center fielder is ahead. It's 3-1. And it's a walk. So the go-ahead run is now aboard.
'44, Jack Firestone.
As Vardavis is trying to answer the call. Jack Firestone. He has 2 hits on the ledger, and Vardavis has now missed 5 straight. Two on, 2 away. The biggest bat in the Zips lineup at the plate, and Vardavis has fallen behind. 6 straight balls from the southpaw. Outs at any base. Infield shifted over to the right side. Firestone leads the MAC in strikeouts as he chases the 2-0. Vardavis comes set. Here's the 2-1. Another swinging strike. So after falling behind 2-0, gets 2 consecutive swinging strikes. 2 on, 2 away. A 2-2 count to the 2-hole in Akron's lineup. Runs it outside. So now the runners will be running with the pitch. An extra base hit will give Akron the lead. A base knock will tie it up. They call this the payoff pitch. It's never paid off more than this one right now. The 3-2 misses. A hit by pitch and 2 walks have loaded the bases here in the top of the 9th.
30,
Free
Jack
passes have been
Boyd.
Miami's bugaboo all season long, and they are it right here in the top of the 9th. No arm is loose in Miami's bullpen, so this is strictly a talk with Miami's pitching coach and Nick Vardavis. Jack Poist, who comes in 0 for 5, will step to the plate with the bases loaded, the tying run 90 feet away, the go-ahead run out at second base, and there's 2 away. when the image of playing college baseball comes in your head when you're a high school senior, this is the moment that you imagine. Either coming on the rubber to close the door or being the hero on the top of the ninth. Poise flares one out to left field. It's going to be a tough play for Nate Stone. He's on the run. Can't get to it. 1 run will score. 2 runs, waving around and heading for home. The cut from Cooper Weiss to David Novak's not in time. The throw out to third is, and that's the third out. But 3 runs score here in the top of the ninth. Akron, for the first time in the ball game, takes the lead. It's 12-10. We head to the bottom of the ninth here in Oxford. You're watching Love and Honor Live. Bottom of the ninth, 12-10, Miami with their backs against the wall. You're watching Love and Honor Live. They have the top of the order. 2 up. I'm Reed Mouse. Akron scores 3 runs on the double from Jack Post and take their first lead of the ball game. Gillies back out on the rubber for the Zips. And he's looking to close the door. 3 saves on the season. He won't get it here today. He'd get the win. As Brokman slaps one through the right side of the infield. What about that? That's all you want out of a leadoff man. Someone who reaches a board, gives you a little bit of speed, and for the 4th time in the ball game, Benji Brokman has a base knock.
Cooper Weiss.
So Cooper Weiss steps up. A lot of power in his bat, 12 home runs on the season. If he leaves the yard, it'd tie up the ball game. 86 on the gun, finds the inside half of the plate. They check on Brokman over at first. Can't imagine Brokman will be up and running as he isn't the tying run. Zaborowski waits in the on-deck circle. He already has 1 walk-off home run this season. So if Cooper Weiss can reach a board, there's no one in the Mid-American Conference that you'd rather have at the plate than Rylan Zaborowski. Chopped over to the third baseman. They do not get the double play as Arrivo doesn't field it cleanly, but does stay with it and throws it over to first for the first out. So 5-3 put out. Moves Benji Brokman up to second. And we'll see Rylan Zaborowski. Zaborowski 3 for 5 has struck out, flown out, a home run, a double, and a single. Hit his 19th home run of the ball game. Wouldn't it be poetic to get number 20 right here and right now? His last time up just got underneath it. Send it out to deep center field. But just too high. 1-0 here to the tall first baseman. Misses downstairs. Infield shifted over to the pull side of Zaborowski. Butler, who's in at second base, is more than anything just trying to hold Brokmond on. So he's playing up the middle. 3-0's the count to Zabo. Wouldn't be the worst walk in the world, but it would put the tie and run aboard. And they do just that. 4-pitch walk has the tie and run over at first base.
Number 29, David Novak.
So now it's David Novak. Novak still waiting for his first hit of the ball game. An arm is loose in Akron's bullpen. We'll see if that ends the day for Gillis. Authoritative walk out to the mound and a meeting of the minds for the entire infield. David Novak comes in, 21 RBIs, 5 home runs. Hit a home run just last week against Central Michigan. He hit 2 a couple weeks ago against Ohio University. Has worked his way to the middle of the order. But he is looking for his first hit today. He did have an RBI back in the first inning on a sacrifice fly. A ball in the gap. Might tie the game. Novak down the left field line. And reaching up and not getting there in time is Seeker. This is extra bases. Benji Brokmond will score. A play at the plate. Zaborowski slides in safe. It's 12-all. We set a ball in the gap. Might tie the game up. It isn't in the gap. It's down the line, and it does just that. Sammy Seeker racing towards the corner, leaps up, can't get to the ball in time.
Dylan Baker.
And it's 12-all with Dylan Baker at the plate, a runner in scoring position, and 1 away. And they're going to go out there and talk. It looks like they might be stalling so that Akron can get a new arm in. 24 runs in the ball game. And this will be the second meeting out on the mound, so we will see a new arm. It's 12-all, runner in scoring position, Dylan Baker at the plate. We'll be right back. all comes down to this. Dylan Baker at the plate, one away. The game-winning run out at second base in the form of David Novak. Joe Roth on the rubber for Akron. This will be his 17th appearance on the season, a 5.28 ERA, 0-5 win-loss. Scouting report has him at 85, 89 slider changeup mix. The 1-0 is 88 on the gun, and Dylan Baker just gets a piece. And the on-deck circle is Evan Applewick. So between Dylan Baker and Evan Applewick, two of the hotter hitters in the lineup. The 1-1 from Roth. 79, a little bit of bounce in that changeup. So Baker has already got 2 hits in the ball game. He sacrificed himself his last time up. A 2-1 from Roth. In there for a called strike. Two. Infield shaded to the pull side of Dylan Baker. He's worked it to the opposite side of the field multiple times in this ballgame. And this gets away from the catcher. The slider in the turf bounces between Horvath's legs. And now the game-winning run is 90 feet away. The infield will come in. Roth doesn't like the first sign from Horvath. Eventually agrees on a pitch. Steps off the back of the rubber. The 3-2. Dylan Baker down the right field line, but foul. 16 hits in the ball game for Miami. They don't need a hit here. A fly ball deep enough in the outfield will get the job done. And Dylan Baker wins the ball game. He touches first and he'll get mobbed by his teammates. I don't know what your Saturday plans are, but if they were to go out to Kings Island, cancel them because you just rode the roller coaster right there. Miami runs into their batting cages down the left field line. They win 13-12 after surrendering a 5-run lead in the top half of the 8th. They go ahead in the bottom after giving up a 1-run lead in the top of the 9th. And going down 2 runs here, 12-10. They played 3 runs, 2 off the bat of a David Novak double, and then Dylan Baker gets the job done, singling to win the RedHawks the game. Nick Vardafis will get the win, and Joe Roth will get the loss. 13-12, our final score. Tomorrow's game will be at 3 p.m. Paul Fritchner will be on the call for that one. Paul was our producer here for Game 1, but we'll be back tomorrow here. This was another edition of Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. We'll see you tomorrow.
17 hits, committing 1 error and leaving 12 on base. This game